Morning fret friends, we are just about 7 in the AM here in Nottingham, England. I'm just going to show a few things I've got on in the workshop this week, and there's an acoustic here, Art and Lutherie acoustic, made in Canada. I think the parent company is Godin, in fact I'm sure it is. And this one's got a severely sunken belly, blah 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 blah, and the bridge is pulling forwards like that. And the guy's had it, he says it's stuck in an attic for 10 years. I said, why would you do that? With strings on, etc, etc. So says I don't know if I can fix that, but what I've done is I've taken something I always want to do is it's like a takeaway carton, you know, takeaway food, Chinese, Indian, whatever. I take one of these, I wet this, squeeze it out so it's damp, and I put it inside the sound hole, and it's under here in this position. I'm going to move it here later today to get some moisture back in the wood and see if that alters anything. Now it has moved a bit, but it's not moved a lot, so I'm not 100% certain this is properly fixable. And I did tell the guy that when he came here. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to take these pins out. I did this on one of my own years ago. I've got a strap pin there, and what I do is I'll take the pins out, I'll put 2 screwdrivers in a couple of the holes, and I'll tighten up something tied to the strap pin here, and I'll wind it back, and it'll hopefully pull the bridge from that position back up. I did it successfully on one of my own guitars years ago, and I might try that, but this is one for the back burner. Why would you do something on a guitar like, well, why do you do it on any guitar? Why just stick it in an attic with the strings still on really tight? I don't know why people do that, but that is one. It's not going to take me long to do. Hey guys, so some good news with this guitar. It had severe, it was sinking in this area and this area. Now I've had it for a week on and off. Moving some more, I'll get some moisture inside, and even though it is not totally level, it is a lot more level than it was. We have a dip in its worst case of about 0.7 of a mil that side, and a little bit more on this side, which I can't do anything about, but it means I can glue this back in relatively straight. I can still remove a bit of material from the bottom of the bridge saddle, and we're going to get a nice low action, so it's going to put some more years back in the guitar. I'm about to remove the tape and what have you. We'll just get rid of that. I dare say if we'd get another week or so we'd have got rid of this bit here as well, but that's enough for now. So I'll just show you my mechanism for getting moisture in. There is always being like a takeaway container with a damp cloth in there, like so, and it is not wet through, it is damp, and it's just a matter of that and getting that inside and underneath, and we've got some moisture back in there. So I'm going to let this stand for a short time, for a day or two. And then I'm going to crack on. We're going to get this glued back in or on. Hopefully I've got the right clamps. I'm sure I'll have something that I can get in there. I'll get rid of these for now because they're going to pop out anyway. And all this gubbins here. Oh, that's glued in anyway, so I'm going to have to try and prise that out. Let's see if we can get a plier on there. I'll get a grip on there. How's that? Just try and pull it out, but I'm going to move on to something else, and I've got a nice base to work on today. That is a fret level. That's glued in, that's a shame. It's not supposed to be glued in. Aha, it's not glued in. It's just very, very tight. There we go. So we've got that out, so I can remove a little bit from the base of there. We can lower the action that way, which is a little bit gnarly. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a file on there. I'll do that right now. See where we are. And again. So it's a little bit chewed up, that is. Don't know why that's happened. Maybe it has had some glue in there, I don't know. That feels a lot better. Let's have a look, see what the story is. that's better. It's still tight. It shouldn't be that tight, but let's have a look. Yeah, it's still tight. Well, that's okay. Anyway, I'm going to put that aside. I'm going to put this aside for a day or two. I'm going to come back and work on this a little bit later. Okay, friends, we are going to attempt to re-glue the bridge to the body of the guitar. I've got it as straight as I can get it, the body. And what I've done is I've taped a block inside the body between the braces. So it's a full block, and what I'm going to do is with this, not this clamp, with an F clamp or maybe two F clamps, like so, inside, blah 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 blah, I'm going to clamp this down. I'm going to use some supports here and here, and what I'm going to use in this area is going to be this piece of, it's an old leveling beam. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have each side padded here and here, and when I press down in the middle, it's going to also press down both edges at the same time. I've already made the pads, they're going to glue on, and I'm going to be using, I'm not using wood glue, I'm going to be using epoxy for this job. Now the two pads I have are already here, ready to be taped onto here, into this area. I've already had them on the guitar, and they will be held here by some tape. We're just going to go at this edge, like so. And they're going to be taped on there, one on the other side. You get the idea. One there, and that's going to give me pressure at the edges and in the middle, because that is going to squeeze down. And it's going to press the whole width of the bridge and give support there and there. So I'm going to get a good clamp in all areas just by using one clamp. Get this one out of the way because I don't need it. So that's how that is going to work. What I'm going to do is I'm going to get some epoxy under there. In a moment, I'm going to mix some up. It's 30-minute epoxy that I have, I believe. So I'm going to get in there. Now I have taped around the areas where I don't want any spill out. And I'm going to push the glue in using a feeler gauge. Or what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a screwdriver underneath, open it up, and I'm going to get the glue in there using a feeler gauge, squeezing it all in and forcing it all in the area I need it to be. Get the clamp on there, and I'm going to leave it. So I've shown you how that is going to work. I'm not going to film me doing that. I'm just going to crack on with it, and I'll come back and show you the result a little bit later. So, wish me luck, guys. Welcome back, guys. So, glued the bridge back on. Cosmetically, not brilliant. There's some chips under there. They must have been there before I glued it back on, because if not, it can't have happened by me just gluing it back on. But yeah, cosmetically, it's not looking too clever around here. It could do with sanding down and respraying probably, or restaining. Staining it might be alright, but end of the day, it came in not playable. We're going to make it playable. So what I'm going to do now is, now I've got that glued back on, I've got the body more or less straight. I've got it as straight as I can. It was really, really badly warped, so I've got it quite straight. What I'm going to do is, I'm going to check that the neck's straight. That's my wife binging me, by the way, she just finished work. That's the wrong side. That's why it's not sat right. So we get there, we've still got a little back bow in that, I can see it. It's got back bow in it. We're going to get the neck as straight as we can. I'm going to need a 4mm, I believe. Is it a 4? No, it could be a 5. I'm going to straighten the neck. We're going to check these frets, because we're going to do some fret leveling, I think. This is a 5. Just check the neck again, and then we are going to check the frets again, because we have 5 or 6 high ones. Now that is looking quite a bit straight, but it's still, you see, it sinks down. There's some fall away because the body sinks in, so I've got to ignore that bit. It's all about how straight we are here, and that's about as straight, I believe, as we're going to get it. I don't think we're going to get it any straighter than that. I've got to ignore this fall away here, because it's this part is sinking down towards the sound hole. So we're going to take that as a level. Just going to see how much of a level we've got here. And that end fret there is really high. So we certainly need to take some off that end fret. The rest of them aren't too bad. So this one's high, so we're going to knock that one in. I'm going to grab a fret mallet and I'm just going to, I'm actually using the metal side on this one, just to give it some. Now if I take a, I'll just see, ever so slightly, it's not so bad now. Let me have a look now, see what it's saying. That one is high. So we're going to knock all these in. Now I'm going to level the frets. I'm going to see which ones are high anyway. That one's still high. The fingerboard's going to need a good scrape because it's filthy. So it's doing a lot more work than I'm charging for. I'm charging 75 quid. If I was doing a pro job on this, I'd have been charging £300. But anyway, let me get these all levelled off and checked. And once I've checked what needs sorting out, I'm going to hammer them in. I'm going to clean up the fingerboard. We're going to let this fret settle. Then we're going to check the level of the frets again. If they're still not level after I've hammered the ones in that need work, we're going to actually level them. So it's much better to show you that a little bit later on rather than just keep the tape running and blah blah blah. So yeah, we are going to hammer these frets back in. These are the ones that are high. That one's ludicrously high. Not really bothered it's not high anymore, that's good. I'm not really bothered about anything down their end because, listen to that one. Stupidly high. I'm not going to bother about that because they're sinking in anyway, so I'm going to ignore anything at their end. That's stupidly high, that one. That one there. Seems okay at the minute now. Sometimes you hammer these in and they'll stay, most of the time they don't. But you know, good benefit of the doubt, they might stay. Any that stay means less work for me. Okay now, that was ludicrously high. Try it again. That's reseated, that's seated okay. Can't guarantee they're going to stay there. They seem to be seated okay, so we'll leave them for a good half an hour, see if they stay seated. What we'll do in the meantime is we'll give the fingerboard a spray with some mineral oil. You know it's lemon oil. It's mineral oil with some lemon essence in there just to make it smell nice, nothing else. There's no other reason for the lemon to be in there. So specially formulated this oil by companies like, is that Kiesel? Diderio, Dunlop, PV do one. So we know what we're doing, these guys. It's not real lemon oil, is it? Wouldn't lemon only have oil in the peel? So we're going to let this do its stuff. We're going to scrape this fingerboard. Again, a lot of work went into this. It's about getting the guitar playable. Rather than go out and spend £200, £300, £400 on a new guitar, I might as well get some play out of this. I'm going to charge him 75 quid. It'll have about 4 hours time I'm done. I know I'm stupid, I'm too cheap, especially when it's been my last year in England. We are, all the paperwork's gone in by the way for us moving to Canada. Chances are we'll already be in Canada by the time this video comes out, so I'm thinking of winding down. We're in March now, of our Lord 2024, and I'm already thinking of shutting the shop now. It may happen because I'm doing too many hours at Raw Mail. So, you know, there's loads of people set up around this area anyway. It's not where I'm losing business. I mean, I am losing business, but it doesn't really bother me. I've got well enough business to last me for another 4 or 5 months. I don't have to worry about anything like that. I'm tired now. I'm just ready, wound down and ready for moving to Canada. I can't get there quick enough. Especially finding out last night my mum's died. She'd been dead 2 months, we only found out last night. I don't want to go into that. But yeah, that's what it is. There's nothing keeping me here anymore really. Anyway, cracking on with this. Going to let this oil soak in. Give 5-10 minutes and I'm going to scrape it back off with a Stanley blade. Then I'm going to re-oil it, rub it in, and we're going to come back, we'll check the frets again. If we need any filing work, we'll get to that, and we'll crack on and try and get it done today. So it's wiping the fingerboard down. I've given it a scraping with a Stanley blade. We're just going to wipe it down, get rid of all the smeg off here. Wasn't as bad as I thought. I'll show you in a minute when I pick up this paper I'm using to wipe it with. Here you go, that's dead finger grime and stuff like that. All that crap off there. I'm using my best toilet roll, look. Triple ply. Not cheap this stuff. Too good for a guitar workshop. But yeah, that's all good. So anyway, I'm going to check these frets again in a moment. Like I say, I'm not going to spend a lot more time on this. I'm not being paid for it. I'm not being paid enough for it. Just get playable. Don't know if the guy sent me any strings. I'm going to have a look in his pocket in his guitar case in a minute. Did he send a guitar case? I assume he did. There you go. So that's not so bad. I've seen worse than that. So that's all wiped down now, clean. Did he bring in a case? Is that the case? That's not the case. Could that be it? No, that's something else in there. What's in there? Yeah, I know what's in there. He might not have bought a case. Can't remember now. Anyway, whatever. I'll ask him if it's supply strings. If not, I'll use. I've got a set of any ball Everlast coated acoustic strings over there. I'll stick that on there. We'll get something cheap off Amazon, some Adagio or something, about £4 a set. I don't remember if he bought it in a case or not. Somehow I don't think he did. But anyway, let's check these frets. Now I've knocked them back in. So far so good. So knocking them back in seems to have done the trick. So I'm ready to level anything again. That's good. That's very good news. Oh no, it was that one. Oh, that's so terrible. Cracking me, that is terrible. Where's my hammer? Let's just check that again. Sometimes when you knock one in, others pop out like that one. Look, that one's popped out because I've knocked that one in. Oh, I can see that one's popped out. It might have just been in loose anyway. That's popped out again now. I can tell, I can see, look, I can see it. Oh yeah, these are popping out all over the place. So by rights they need gluing in. There's gaps under them and all sorts. You know what? Tough. Get it playable. That's all we're going to do. Be level anyway. By rights, this, I should be clamping and gluing these frets back down and charging the right price for it. Charging the full 150 quid for the whole job. That one's out, that one's high again now. So I'm going to have to be leveling some frets. So I'm going to leave this another half an hour, come back, check the frets again. Anything high, we're going to attack them with a file. Because I don't want to spend too much time on this because it's not making any money. I've got guitars in the wings waiting for major work. That's high everywhere. That's just pathetic. So now I've knocked all them in. I'm going to leave that. I'm going to leave it a good half an hour. I'm going to check, come back, check the frets again, 30 minutes, and any that are high then we're going to level. So I'm going to put this aside. I've got another bass to work on. I've already done the frets on that one. I'm ready to put a new nut on a bass, so I'm going to crack on with that. I'll come back with this Lutherie one in a while. So yeah, a bit across the frets again, 7 high frets, and I've not charged enough again. But you know what? I'm just gonna level these. I'm not giving them a full polish. I'm going to make it playable, and that's it. That's high. So I'm going to take my number 4 cut file, super smooth, super sharp. I ain't going to fanny about. Straight over to match the radius. And I'm just going to keep checking every couple of strokes. Right, so I know from experience where I need to file. And it's just about getting this playable. By rights, these all wanted knocking and gluing and clamping down, but the guy ain't going to pay for that. And like I say, we'll just get it playable for 75 quid. That's level now. Quite happy with that one. Beautiful. So once it's level, we've now flattened the top. We need to rebuild that crown. So I'm not going to faff about again. I'm going to go with my Z file from Strumac. You've all seen this before. It cuts 2 cuts. It's a diamond file. It's got a long narrow slope there and a short sharp one there. And it's got the opposite when it's 180 degrees. And what it does is this cuts the edges. So it basically cuts that and recrowns the fret for you. So just a couple of strokes with that. Go one way, turn it 180 degrees. Give the file a clean. Then take your crowning file, standard crowning file. Again, this is convex, it's got the right groove in there. And we're just going to go over the top, round it off. And that has recrowned that fret in double quick time. And that's beautiful. So I'm going to move on to the next lot up here. Just check these again. So that one to do that. So exactly the same. It just needs this end bit removing. So we're just going to follow a radius. Keep checking our work. That seems to have levelled off nicely. Again, the Z file or the Z file, whatever you want to call it, just at that end. And again, taking the other file, checking the whole fret. Well, that was nice and level, so nice and quick with this. And so again, rinse and repeat. Once you get to my level of experience, you can do this. You can just reel these off really, really quickly. It's not the ideal way spot. This is what we call spot leveling, doing one at a time. It's much easier to level the whole lot, but it takes a lot longer. So just using this level as a spot, this file for spot leveling. Just keep checking your work. Still high there. Your file will farm the right radius, especially if you've been doing this job as long as I've been doing it. That's good. Check one back, check one forward. That's good. So same again with the Z file, give it a good clean. And again, that side, give it a white clean. Taking your crowning file again. And let's just check it again. That's nice, beautifully rounded off fret. Nice and level there. So on to the next one. And you see how it works. I'm just going to do a lot and let the camera roll. That's a level. Again, zip file. And your crowning file. Checking your work. That's a level. Check back a fret. Check forwards a fret. Now because we remove material from here, that's a little bit high on that side there, so we're just going to take a little bit off this fret. Not too much, it's only ever so slight. I'm not going to hit this with a Z file, I'm just going to hit it with the crowning file. And we're going to check that one, and now that's fine. And there you go, so 3 more to do. It's really high, but you can see how it works. So I'm going to crack on, get the other 3 done off camera. There's no point recording everything, but all these up to here are now level. We're just going to give them a little polish a little bit later, and we'll have this guitar done in about half an hour or so. Morning guys, I've just set up the belt sander. I'm going to remove some material from the bottom of the saddle. I'm going to go, the highest point is going to be as high as the pen goes on that side, so about 2 mil. And that's going to bring the action down by at least 1 millimetre at the 12th fret. So I'm not going to film it. What I do is I put some tape on each side just so I can hold it better over the belt sander. And like I say, remove that material and come back. And we'll stick this in and we'll get some strings on. There you go, a matter of seconds later, we have the material removed from the base or the lower part of the saddle. And that is going to bring the action down somewhat. And we can bang this back on the guitar, just checking which way this goes around. It's compensated both sides, this saddle, so I'm thinking that that is the treble side there. It's a very tight fit, this saddle. There you go, and that is in, and that still gives us enough clearance over the bridge, so we've considerably lowered the action on this guitar. So we now have a straight guitar. We've fixed the sinking into the belly, or most of it. It still goes down a little bit here. We've glued back on the bridge, we've removed material from the saddle, so we are going to have a low action and a well playing guitar. Cosmetically, there's a little to be desired, but we now have a playable guitar. So I'm going to get some strings on and back soon. So this morning, all I've left to do is after putting on the strings, setting the neck straight. Now we do have the neck dipping down a little bit toward the sound hole because we couldn't get the body perfectly straight, but the action at the 12th fret is pretty good. We're about 2.7 millimeters, but we're going to bring the action down even lower by cutting the nut slots. So what I like to do is, and these are my measurements, and these are what work for me. But on this side, from the top of the fret to the bottom of the string, I like to go about 0.3 millimeters. That's about 0.6. And on the treble side, I like to go about 0.2. This is about 0.4 at the moment. So we are going to dig in, and we're going to recut these nut slots. Now, using a 54/12 set of strings, I've got the closest match to each string. So for the 54 I'm going to be using a 0.056 of an inch. For the 44 I've got a 46. For the 32 I have a 32. For the 24 I have a 24. For the 16 I have a 16. And for the 12 I have a 13. So we've got more or less the right sized file for each string. So there you go, that's the first one, 0.056. So 56 thousandths of an inch. And what we're going to do is we're going to give this a measure on this side, and I can already see I need to drop that about half again, and that dropping down is going to bring this string closer to the 12th fret. So we're going to have an action of about 2.3 millimeters, which on the bass side will be perfect. So we're going to take the file. Now these Hosco files are fabulous. They weren't cheap, but why would you expect them to be cheap? But they cut a perfect semicircle for the string. So we're just going to remove the string. I've got the tuner plugged in, but I don't need to check that yet. And all I'm going to do is I'm going to just cut into the slot. I'm going to angle it down ever so slightly. We'll see where we are, and we're going to pop the string back in. Measure again. So we'll go a little bit deeper, which is what we're going to do. Don't go gung-ho at it, because if you cut it too deep, you will be replacing the nut. And you don't want to be doing that when you've spent so much time on the guitar already. Just getting that nice buzz, so we're fine there. So we can move on to the next one now. What we're going to do is, before we put the file away, is that we're going to take a wire brush like so, and we're going to clean the file. Always keep them clean, because that way they stay sharp. I'm going to put this one away. We're going to move on to the next string. So you see how this works. It's going to take me a good few minutes. So I'll show you one more, then we're going to move. I'll do it all off camera. So I'm going to measure this one. I want this to be a little bit lower, so about 0.28. Again, that's quite high. So I'm going to pull this one across, take the next one, which is a 0.046. I'm going to remove just about the same amount, but from this one. That looks pretty good. Some more from there, so you see how this works. And just take your time. It's not a race. So we'll go a little bit more with that. Like I say, take your time with it. Because if you go too deep, you'll be replacing the nut. And I don't have any nuts in stock, so I'd have to order one, then I have to recut one. Oh, that looks good. That looks pretty close to me. Nice buzz on there, so that one is cut right. Now the next two we're going to cut to about 0.25 millimeters, so we're going to gradiate slightly down towards the treble side, so we're getting lower with each string till we get to about 0.2 over there. I do have a 0.25 somewhere. This is right here. So we'll look at the next one. We'll clean this one first, and that's it. I'm going to do the rest off camera, but you see how it works, and it gives a nice, well, as low an action as we can get. Remember that the body is all sunken in here. We've managed to straighten the body somewhat, not perfectly straight, but a lot straighter than it was. So we're going to measure here for this one, and again, quite high. I'm going to do exactly the same over here. I'm going to cut that slot. I'm going to get it all done off camera. Once it's done, I'll bring you back in and we'll tie up this video, and the guitar can go back to its owner. And here we are, friends, we are all done with this one, and let's remind ourselves of what we've had to do with this. So the bridge had come away, the body was really sunken in, the frets needed leveling, so what we've done is we've straightened the body the best we can, we've glued the bridge back on, we've removed material from the bottom of the saddle, we've recut the nut slots, and we've levelled the frets. And the guitar plays as good as it's going to play. We have an action of 2.5mm on the bass side, 2.25mm on the treble side. I do have a guitar tuner somewhere because that's not in perfect tune right now. I'm just going to check the tuning, but at least the guitar plays now. And like I said, cosmetically there's a bit to be desired. You know, it's not perfect, but we have a playable guitar, and that's what it's all about. I've charged the guy £75 for all of that work, a lot more work than it's paid for. is all done and ready to go. It sounds nice, it looks nice, and we've done as much as we can do to this. Cosmetically, like I say, it needs a little bit of touch up here and there, but we've got everything all glued back on. The action's as low as we can get it, the frets are level, it plays and sounds wonderful. So before we go, just need to remind you of my website. Best place, facebook.com/ng17. That's facebook.com/NGONESEVEN. I'm Victor, I am your fret friend, and until the next time, as always, God bless you, be good to each other, and I'll see you in the next one.